Oh, sorry. I forgot I hit the start button and then I had a senior moment. Today is January 29th, 2018. I think it's my day 1.25464, something like that. And just kind of checking in today more than anything else. Um, had a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful weekend with my daughter. And as I've said before, for all of the fear that I had as far as being a father and having a children or a child and what was going to happen with my transition and uh, so much of the guilt and fear and shame that was put upon me by other people. Both barrels, okay? Swivel on it, punk. Yeah, total fuck you to them and the horse they rode in on. But okay, take a moment. We'll align the chakras. We'll balance the humors. Feel the vapors. Okay, positive energy. Gotten that out. Um, but no, just very, 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 very cool. I have an 11-year-old daughter who is becoming a woman biologically, chemically, and it is amazing just how much she will talk to me about her body and what's going on with her changes. And I just listen. You know, it's not something I dig into or force her to talk about or whatnot. She'll complain sometimes, and or now I might ask her a question like when I started the injectable a week ago, which we'll get to in a bit. Um, I had asked her. I said, have you ever felt? Do you ever feel like just sad and for no reason? You know, and I tried to ask her some things, but definitely not stereotypically things that a father would ask. A father would ask his child, okay, and that's because I'm a father who asks her child. But there definitely have been some moments lately. Yesterday was one where we went to the coffee shop and my daughter always gets decaffeinated whatever. This time of year they have, because of Valentine's Day, they have chocolate cherry this and white raspberry chocolate this, and it's always chocolate. Red velvet tea. I mean, it's because of the holiday and whatnot, and so it's very foo-foo latte, foo-foo. And my daughter gets them with the ice blended in and whipped cream on top. I mean, it's a milkshake. It's a moo latte, I think was Dairy Queen's answer to ice cream and coffee. But anyway, but there were so many times yesterday that I think I just had moments of peace and serenity and oneness with the world around me. And I just felt so connected, female, woman, etc., etc. And I found myself when one of the cats or the dog or, we would sit there and I'd be, mommy loves you so much, mommy this, mommy that. And then I realized my daughter was in the room and I felt like, should I be saying that? I don't want my daughter to feel like she has to call me mommy or whatnot, even though I have been both parents to my daughter since she was born. So, and definitely when we're in public, I definitely would like her to say, instead of saying daddy, la 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 la, say, mommy, or, and yeah, you could do Maddie or whatever what was it, Mappa, but, it's just practical. And when you feel it and you feel that way, and there have been some times again where sadness or whatnot, and I've held my daughter as her mother, as a mother holds her child, okay? But I'm not here to replace my ex-wife as her mother. So I'll just say that. And but no, everything just seems to be flowing the right way. I did kind of switch back to my old dietary habits, and I'm very thankful to say that the pendulum has swung the other way. I'm now losing weight again, and along with the lots of peeing and lots of farting, I am losing weight again, and that's just my body. When you have fat or weight, I know fat gets broken down into carbon dioxide, which we breathe out, and water, which we usually pee out in our urine. And so I can definitely say that my body is in the burn mode again, which is good. However, I am quickly becoming sick of vegetables again, and that's okay because we have 8 weeks, right? According to my little chart here, I have 8 weeks, and then I will be in the hospital. So all was good there. I had a real nice exchange with Addison, who military. I don't consider myself military because I got out before I was to go in. But you might see a familiar face there with Cadet Parks. Look at the eyes. Look at how dead I am. Isn't that amazing? Just how dead. When we're walking corpses, we're so unhappy, and we have no way of expressing it. But very interesting. I'm always amazed at how similar our paths are, or how similar our pasts are. I think I just said that twice. Pasts, but our path, P-A-T-H, as well as P-A-S-T. Very similarities as far as a little bit of denial. Hang on, bear with. A little bit of denial, a little bit of things we did to null the pain, and I can only speak for myself and say mistakes that I know I made, dumb things that I did, several false starts, trying different things just to avoid the pain and deaden the pain. And so just saying it happens. And it's kind of a little bit of painful for me to go back to those days. After I had dropped out of ROTC and basically dropped out of college, I was homeless and living in Atlanta, and I knew I was transgender. Imagine that, 19 years old and nowhere to go. But it's in the past. Even though, whatever, we look to the future and the present. Understand the past, learn from the past, look for the future, enjoy the present, perhaps. What else was I going to say? Oh, we were going to talk about this little lovely, lovely bottle. I'm just saying. Woo! I realize they can't make like it. What I'd like to see, instead of these little bottles, I would like to see something like the way that I put flea medication and preventative stuff on my cats, where it's like looks like a ketchup packet with a little hard tip to it. It doesn't have to, I realize it's an injectable. You got to have a needle to get in your body, but the liquid, how hard would it be to have, like, again, the flea stuff you put on the back of your cat's neck? Give me 5 of those instead of this little bottle. And the reason why is because as soon as I break the seal on this puppy, it's only good for 28 days. Guaranteed 28 days. And so, I paid, and you'll probably laugh at me, I paid $140 for this little bottle. And I'm going to throw away I'm only going to be able to get 2 milliliters out of it, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to waste some of it in the process of getting the air bubbles out and whatever else. And then I have to throw half of it away because it's no longer good. So yeah, instead of that, give me those little ketchup packet things. And hang on, bear with. I love props. Give me the little thing, and I'll, pop the top and stick the needle in, and then I'll inject myself. And then I won't waste any of it. How about that? Think about all the plastic and stuff that we waste. And I mean, the packaging isn't too bad, but still, give me what I can use. But also, I am amazed at how, I thought, 5 golden tickets were hard to find. Or were they 6 golden tickets? Charlie, we'll say 5, though there might be 6. Bear with. I'm going through my head now. Augustus Goof, Mike TV, Veruca Salt, Charlie, and Violet Beauregard. And I think that was it. 5 kids, right? Anyway, 5 kids. Shit, 5 golden tickets. These are worth more right now than a golden ticket. And it's almost a shame, not a shame, but why? Why? Go to my Walgreens and there's 5 different flavors of cough medicine. And again, I realize we're a minority and whatnot, but still. The idea that I give myself another shot on Monday, and then within 2 weeks I'm due. And they won't order me another set until February 8th. Well, I have to give myself a shot February 19th, okay? So, it total is like a big FU to, in my mind, the trans community or women everywhere. Not like that has ever happened. Keep it on the shelf. I don't know. And maybe I'm a little bit indignant because I've had to fight tooth and nail to get my letters. I've had to, it's been a fight. It's been a struggle, okay, to get this and do the insurance stuff and everything. And you get approved and you get everything. And then all of a sudden it's like out of stock by manufacturer. You're like, okay, well, is there another brand name? Is there another formulation? This is 20 milligrams a milliliter. Is there 40 milligrams per milliliter? Is there 5? Help me out here. Throw me a frickin' bone. Need the info. So that's that. And I can't really say, having had a shot last week for the first time, I'm not convinced it is the cat's meow that it is made out to be. Especially on a day like today, I got out of bed and the muscle that I injected in my thigh, it hurts, and the injection site hurts very mildly. It's worth it. If you give me bigger breasts and whatever in a female body shape, I will, at this point I'd kill puppies. But well, not really. Not puppies. But you know what I mean. You would put up with the mild inconvenience of pain, the 10 seconds it is to stick it in. But I've not quite reaped the benefits yet. And I think it takes time. And the common knowledge on the internet is that of the 3, pills are the lowest when it comes to oral, is the lowest as far as effectiveness, patches in the middle, and injectables are the top. They're the cat's meow. They're the big wigs. And I've not personally experienced any great change. I thoroughly expected the 16 candles scene where Molly Ringwald, she undoes her bureau and she looks at her body and she's like, I thought breasts would come, magically. That did not happen. So What else? What else can I share you as I ramble here? It has been wonderful to be myself. My middle name is Karen, and that's what I have been going by for the last almost 3 weeks now. And I can't explain why. I think I know why, because Robin is my first name, but Robin is can be anything, can be gender neutral. Robin Williams, Robin Hood. Robin can be anything. But if you were Karen or Amelia or Jessica or Catherine, that's definitely a girl's name, stereotypically. And so to go by that, you know, this morning I talked with my cable provider to move stuff around my house, which we'll get to in a minute. I spoke with my pharmacy, Humana Pharmacy. I've been on the phone with different people, and to be, Karen, Mrs. Parks, immediately. There's no, um, you know, probably if I was to call and get a call center out of the country, then, um, possibly would still get confused. But if you say Karen, again, using the feminine word, the feminine everything seems to be a good deal. So that's good. And then I mentioned a little bit about Spectrum. I have to move my modem, okay, into my office here because I'm becoming a work at home person. And I have to have a hard connection for my work computer. And it was one of those things. There would have been a time in my life I would have gone to Radio Shack. I don't know if Radio Shacks even exist anymore. Bought for $10 or $5, bought the 100 feet of coaxial cable, and run the cable myself, and all would be well. But friends, this morning, no, Mrs. Parks, Miss Robin. Miss Robin got set up an appointment, and there will be possibly a young strapping lad who will come and drill whatever needs to be done and run cable. Sounds like a porno. And I'm going to enjoy it and watch it. Crazy person that I am, and let them do it. Let them do the work. I won't say a stereotypical, it's men's labor, but I'm gonna be the woman who, no. And I had a friend once who wanted to get brakes done, and they were gonna replace their brakes or whatever, and I was like, okay, but for me, no, I'm gonna take them to the mechanic's office so I can watch the mechanics, and I don't want to get my hands dirty, and it's stereotypically girly stuff and whatnot. So, but I'm 46. I'm an old bitch now. And that is all that I can really think of. I'd mentioned my daughter earlier, and I'll close on this thought. I had a real good chat with her yesterday, and we talked a little bit about my surgery coming up. And I'm always, if you have any questions, and that was the way that my transition went when I told her I was transgender, and kind of what she could expect, and to make sure she understood that I loved her. I would always be her father. I would always be here to take care of her. It's so nice to just be yourself and to not have false, I don't know, being something you're not, maybe. And my daughter and I had a good talk yesterday we talked about life, and we talked about death, and we talked about nuclear annihilation. mutually assured nuclear annihilation, that, what would happen if South Korea did this and that and the other. And we talked a little bit about God and heaven and hell. And I made sure I asked her what she believed, not telling her what I believed, but I was curious what she believed, and I listened. And again, I'm just a happy mommy now. It's another person. She's on her way, and hopefully, if I've done my job right, I have prepared her for the future. But she's not leaving yet. She got a good 7 years here, but she started talking to me about moving and where she wanted to move, and I was just like, my gosh, this child. When I was her age, I just did whatever my parents told me to do, and I didn't think about it, and that got me in this situation here as a Air Force cadet, living as a dead corpse. So, I'd much rather my daughter to be alive. Yes, my son. Okay, I'm ending the video. My son says I've been talking too long. I need to go. But again, I don't want to overwhelm my child with choices. But I think it's fair to say, have you thought about this? Or what do you feel about that? And, I know when I was 18, in addition to hiding who I was and trying to deal with my feelings and everything, I didn't have a stake in my future. I didn't have an opinion, and I would very much like my daughter to be aware, to be a realized individual who has a very high self-efficacy, and and again, as a parent, I think it's just such a lovely thing to have, to accomplish. Ooh, excuse me. It's a lofty goal, and obviously it depends on the child and your situation. But again, for her to be herself and for me to be myself is just amazing. So on that note, I will stop rambling, and I will wish everyone a super, super day, and we'll catch up with you later. Okay? And good luck. Good luck. For me, I have 8 weeks, and starting next week is going to be very, very busy. Basically, one 45-minute session of electrolysis a week till my surgery. And there's still a chance. I have not heard back yet from surgeon's office with 100% go, 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 because my insurance has to approve it, and it's currently under review, and that can take up to 30 days. And so about halfway down that sheet of paper, things may change, but we will adapt and overcome and face the challenges that arise. And if anything, this experience, back to this person who I was at one point, maybe, I've learned a lot. I burnt my hand several times on the stove, and I have learned. And if anything, as shitty as bad experiences can be, they can be a good teacher. If we learn from them. And I'm sorry, I'm gonna do one more, and then I'll shut up, and I will shut up. I read an article. Julie had posted something about a young trans woman who her parents didn't want her to transition, and went out of their way to make for this young individual, this young trans woman, their life was hell. I have a cat. If you're pooping in that box, mister, you are going to be in trouble. I think he did. Oh. My son. My son, why? You have a litter box over there. Anyway, sorry. But it took me back to that 18, 19-year-old person I was at one point, and I didn't know what the future was and whatnot. But it made me go it's terrible to have two people or your parents to hamper you in such a way. At the same time, isn't that a core part of maturing into young adulthood, leaving the house and being on your own? And that's not to make light of this young woman's situation. It's just that idea that, you know, and I feel for that pain because I felt it. And I'm willing to bet you a Diet Coke that you have felt it. But, you know, it used to be, you know, if you wanted to join the service, if you wanted to join the army, or there was something you wanted to do and your parents didn't agree, you had to wait till you were 18. Or I have a family member who decided he dropped out of high school because he wanted to join the Navy. And he left home because he was going to leave home. His parents didn't support it. And so much like joining the circus, or, I mean, you know, it's a shame. It's a terrible thing that a person has to endure pain or suffering until they turn 18. But it raised a flag in my mind about, hasn't that always been, though, the struggle? You know, if you go back and you look at James Dean or, you know, Rebel Without a Cause, you know, young adults, you know, an older child becoming a young adult, and the distance they have to do with their family somewhat. It's a struggle. And I guess what I would comment after talking with Addison a little, or messaging Addison a little bit about our experiences, we come away from that as being stronger people. And yes, it sucks ass, and I wouldn't want my worst enemy to experience what I felt when I was 18 or 17. I mean, no. But isn't that, you know, it sucks, but they say it was Nietzsche who said, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I don't necessarily know if I have a point that I'm driving towards, but let's take this for example. Okay, the Del-estrogen being out of stock, manufacturer. And turns out that Par Pharmaceutical and Pregio, guess what? It's the same company. Two different names, two different storefronts, but it's the same company. That just doesn't seem right? It seems like that would be a monopoly or an oligopoly or whatever. But if you watch, I have a video in my first 3 months, I think, where my insurance company denied my estrogen, and I cried my eyes. I mean, my life, shit was over, because you know, how dare you start me on this process and then deny it, and and it sucked ass at the time. But I have learned from that, and if I can't get this shit in 2 weeks, it has taught me the world is not going to end. You know, it has taught me, and definitely I'll be the first to admit I'm still on cloud 9 because I'm having GCS in 6 weeks. I mean, you could tell me, you know, I'll never see this again and I'll have to start pills or something, or, you know, go back to Premarin and you know, put mare urine, put horse urine in my body, and I'd be like, sure, whatever, fine, as long as I can have surgery. But we learn from our failures. Hopefully we learn from the painful things, and it's a way of growing, I think. And again, it's not meant to minimize when something sucks ass in your life for the moment, but hopefully we'll grow. You know, we grow, we become maturer, we learn from it, hopefully. So, and that's not to say I know everything, because Lord, I'm still making mistakes. All right, next time. Till next time, good luck in your journey. Bye-bye.